Up next, we will turn our eyes to the Mississippi runoff. That's next. Mississippi Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith was already getting backlash for making that joke in the state with more than 600 recorded lynchings, the highest of any state, not to mention a population that is 37% black, the highest of any state. Hyde-Smith is facing a November 27 runoff with former Agricultural Secretary Mike Espy, who's trying to become Mississippi's first black U.S. senator since Reconstruction. And now Hyde-Smith is on the hot seat again for comments making light of voter suppression. Joining me now is Lamar White, the publisher of the Bayou Brief, who posted that footage of Hyde-Smith. Thank you very much for being here, Lamar. It's great to meet you.
Thanks so much.
So you got that video. Is there larger context that we are missing from the first comment, the comment about going to a public hanging?
No, there's no larger context. I've seen a good deal of the video, and I guess the only other context is that there was a man introducing her, and this was her way of complimenting him.
And the response from Cindy Hyde-Smith is to say the following in a comment on November 2nd. I referenced accepting an invitation to a speaking engagement. In referencing the one who invited me, I used an exaggerated expression of regard, and any attempt to turn this into a negative connotation is ridiculous. You do a thing called the Bayou Brief. Is that a common expression of regard in Mississippi?
That is not. And I live in Louisiana. That's not a common expression of regard anywhere in the South. I've never heard of that as a Southern colloquialism.
And is it common, have you heard in the past, just sort of offhand references to public hangings? Because they only have one meaning in the South.
Right. No. That's why it was so remarkable.
As you're looking at this race, Mike Espy, it's obviously an historic bid he's making to try to be United States Senator. The two of them in a three-way race, both finished with about 40% of the vote. Is this a race where Cindy Hyde-Smith is going to have it going away, or could a controversy like this actually hurt her in a state like Mississippi?
Well, we saw what happened in Alabama, and like you mentioned before, Mississippi is 37% African American. So if there are enough white voters and enough African Americans that turn out, I think Mike could win this. I really do.
Yeah. Let's read a couple of responses. The NAACP responded to Cindy Hyde-Smith's comment on Tuesday, saying Senator Hyde-Smith's shameful remarks prove once again how Trump has created a social and political climate that normalizes hateful and racist rhetoric. Hyde-Smith's decision to joke about hanging in a state known for its violent and terroristic history toward African Americans is sick. I presume that Donald Trump is quite popular in Mississippi. Is she tying herself to him overtly in this race?
Yes, and not only that, I believe that Donald Trump plans to be in Mississippi to support her. So he's tying, and she and Donald Trump are pictured together on her tour bus. So yes, she's definitely part of her brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more statement, and this is actually from Mike Espy, who used to be U.S. Agricultural Secretary under Bill Clinton. Cindy Hyde-Smith's comments are reprehensible. They have no place in our political discourse in Mississippi or our country. We need leaders, not dividers, and her words show that she lacks the understanding and judgment to represent the people of our state. What is the reputation of Mr. Espy in that state? Does he have a base beyond the African American community from which to run?
I believe he does, and I think he's got an excellent reputation in that state and beyond. Not only, I mean, he said he would be the first African-American senator from Mississippi elected since Reconstruction. He was also already the first African-American member of Congress elected since Reconstruction in Mississippi.
Yeah. Cindy Hyde-Smith's other controversy, of course, was this joke about, not putting so many voting places to vote on college campuses to make it harder for them to vote. Her campaign says that it was just a joke. A spokesman for her said that it was clearly a joke and that the video was selectively edited. Was the video selectively edited?
I have seen the entire video. No, it was not selectively edited. It's exactly what she said, and I think it's actually kind of telling that it appears that she was responding to a question from an African-American student. She then posted a picture on her Twitter of her and that student, and the student asked her to take the picture down.
Right.
So
I
should
saw
give you
that
some context.
She ended up deleting it because she tried to, I guess, make it appear that he was sort of on her side, and he said he was just asking a question. You know, you live in Louisiana. You do this blog that's also following Mississippi. We've been talking about the South, and there was a sense in the run-up to the election with, you know, gubernatorial candidates in Maryland and Georgia and Florida, this race in Mississippi, that the South is sort of fundamentally changed in a lot of ways. Is that a misperception?
I don't think so, no. And I think there's a new generation of Southerners like myself who reject racism and who believe in a different type of politics. So I think we're seeing the early manifestations of that, and I'm hopeful.
Yeah, and there's also a huge African-American and, you know, Latino and an even growing Asian-American voting base all across the South, so it is definitely changing demographically as well. Lamar White, Jr., congratulations on your big scoop, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, next up.